One of the biggest mistakes that companies make online is not being clear on exactly how they're going to define and measure success, right? Now think about how crazy that is for a moment. That would be like entering a race without there being a finishing line, or playing a game of football without knowing where the goals were. So like Arsenal, basically. Don't actually know anything about football, but I read an article this morning and just thought I'd jump on the bandwagon. Anyway, the point is, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. There's no point investing in a large social media presence or an email list, or even having a website in the first place if you're not clear on what it's there to achieve. Now, one of the biggest challenges people have in arriving at these key performance indicators is that there are potentially just so many. So I always encourage people to break it down into the following three categories. So first of all, we have the brand metrics, right? So this could be the overall number of impressions your brand is achieving online, for example. Then we have the engagement metrics, right? So now we've got people at the top of the funnel, now we're nurturing them down. So this could be things like the number of repeat visits to the website, or average time on site, or some social media engagement metrics, or maybe the number of brochure downloads, where the brochure isn't the end goal, but you consider an important part of that user journey. So it could be all sorts of things. And then finally, we have the conversion metrics, right? So essentially sales, but could be online inquiries, could be e-commerce sales, could be average order value, could be the lifetime customer profit value, could be all sorts of things. Now, for most businesses, it's really just that third category that counts. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that brand isn't important. Brand is everything. But ultimately, brand is there to drive consumer behavior. And if it isn't driving consumer behavior within a reasonable period of time, let's say 6-9 months, well then ultimately it's what we call a vanity metric. In other words, it's bullshit. It's not actually doing anything. It might look good, it might feel nice, but ultimately you cannot cash it in at the bank, right? So I'm not saying to start off really narrow. Certainly, by all means, when you begin, go broad, measure all sorts of different things, and absolutely keep in mind the role that brand plays, of course. But just remember that everything has to be set within the context of its impact on the bottom line. See you next time.